Okay, I think I'm live. Hello. Just making sure, 1 second. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Okay, let's see. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Hi guys, how's it going? It is Thursday, time for a Thursday live. And the ongoing saga of the blowers, the leaf blowers, they're not here today, so hopefully that won't happen. But who is here is window washers. So they might show up, but window washers are noisy. However, now I have my puppy here, so she might freak out. But you know, it's always fun doing lives. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what to expect. That's the fun part of it. And, you know, it's just more interesting than recorded videos, I find anyways. Hope you guys are doing great, having a fabulous day. Let me know if you are live, say hello. And if you're watching the replay, say howdy. And I always come back and check in and say hi and see if you have any questions. Okay, so I'm excited to talk about this today, raising your rates or charging what you're worth, because this is something that if you're a coach or a service provider, this is an issue for a lot of us, a lot of you, especially if you're new, if you're just starting out. This can be a tricky thing to navigate. So I wanted to give you some tips. I wanted to give you some things to think about, and I wanted to give you some really good ways to, you know, take what you charge seriously and find those people who will pay, who are happy to pay, right? So let's dive in. I've got my notes and we are ready to rock and roll. I know some of you weren't able to make the live today, and that's always no problem because the replay is up in the group for you to watch. Okay, gang, so first of all, I wanted to share my little bit of my experience with charging rates. And you know, when I started out as a coach, when I started out, I was in certification. Part of my certification program required that I had 5 clients at all times through the 6 months of the certification. So as a new coach, that was a great way to just throw you into like having to get clients, and they had to be paying clients. They couldn't be free. So I started out asking 35 bucks a session, and honestly, that was terrifying. As a new coach, that was like, I'm asking people to pay me for, you know, like it was so scary. So it was a great way to sort of dive into getting comfortable with actually even charging for coaching. So that was how I started out. And if you are a new coach or if you're new online, this is something I always recommend, and that is coach as many people as you can, work with as many people as you can, you know, because what you need at that point is to raise your skill set. You need to get comfortable with the coaching. You need to start sinking into the value you provide your clients and get some testimonials under your belt. So keeping your rates low when you're just starting out and working with anyone who will work with you is a great way to just really dive into the coaching process. But that's not what I want to talk about today, because most of you are already, you know, starting your business, or you've already had your business, and we want to talk about what do you do now when you feel like, okay, I know I could be charging more based on what I see in the market, but there's a lot of things blocking you from doing so. And like I said, I started out charging low, and I gradually increased my rates as my skills developed, as what I could offer increased, and also as my confidence built. And that's a gradual progression. But every time you want to raise your rates, you get hit with the same demons: the fear, the imposter syndrome, the who am I to think I could charge that? Nobody will pay, like all the shit gets stirred up. And that's really a big part of charging a specific rate and actually getting people to pay you, is doing that mindset work. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about mindset, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about strategy today, and give you the twofold double whammy approach to feeling really confident and feeling like you can own what you're asking and get it. So that's where we're going today. Let me know. Hey, Maria. Let me know if you are happy with what you're charging right now. Let me know if you feel like, yeah, I love my rates. They feel good for me. It reflects the value I bring, and I feel really confident about that. Let me know if that's you. Or let me know if you know that you're underselling yourself, that you're undercharging and you want to charge more. Like, let me know if that's you. Because we're always in those different stages of, either feeling like, I know that I'm not charging enough, but I'm too scared to raise my rates because what if I lose clients or I don't get any? Like, there's always that going on, right? So the mindset piece is all about your limiting beliefs. And the limiting beliefs that we carry that keep us small, that keep us from making the money we deserve to make. And thinking about what your limiting beliefs might be around charging what you're worth is something we want to really take a look at. Maria, you definitely undercharge. Yeah, so it's time to dig into that because I know you can be charging a lot more than you are. I don't know what you charge, but if you say you're undercharging, yeah, it's time to raise those rates, girl. So limiting beliefs are those subconscious beliefs that are showing up when we want to, for instance, make more money in our business and raise our rates. We're in cognitive dissonance. So your conscious mind is saying, I'd like to raise my rates. I think I'm worth more. I think I can ask for more. And that's 5% of how you operate on a daily basis is your conscious mind. Then there's your subconscious mind, which is saying, hell no, we're not going to ask for more. What if nobody can pay? There's not enough money out there. The economy's shit. All of the fears and the limiting beliefs are in your subconscious. And that's 95% of how you are operating. The average person is 95% subconscious during their waking hours, living in that subconscious place of those underlying fears that simmer around under the surface. But they win because I always use this analogy of if you're on a football team that has 5 people and the other team has 95 people and they're charging you, they're going to win, right? And so subconscious always wins. So the big part of shifting, feeling confident about raising your rates and asking for it confidently is to shift your subconscious limiting beliefs around what that means, what you think it means, right? Because usually we attach meaning to something that isn't even there. So here's some examples of limiting beliefs that might be going on for you that I've experienced, and tell me if any of these resonate. One big one is we assume our client's financial situation. Now, I have done this. I have done this before, so I know this is a huge thing. Is like, okay, say you get on a sales call with somebody, you're on a Zoom call, you're talking about, how you're going to work together, what that would look like. And on the call, you're starting to notice, she looks really young. Or maybe she's saying she's a student, or, I can see her apartment and it doesn't look like she has money. We start making all these assumptions about whether that person can afford to pay us or not. And immediately our energy starts going to hesitation and fear and thinking about maybe I should offer her a discount. Maybe I should, and all of a sudden your energy's all over the place. And you start creating that vibe of hesitation and you're not standing in your power because you have subconsciously taken yourself out of that empowerment position by prejudging this person or assuming something based on your conversation with them, thinking that they won't be able to afford you. And let me tell you, time and time again, I get on a call with somebody and I notice that chatter, and then I ask for the sale, and it's like they don't think twice about it. They're totally happy to pay what I'm charging. So don't assume that your clients that you're going to have a sales call with can't afford you. It's no different than I used to work in retail back in the day, and they always said to us, don't judge a customer by how they look or how they dress, because you just don't know how much money that person has. And so if someone walks in being super well dressed and you assume that they have a lot of money, but that might all be like credit card debt, and they have like zero money and they're just window shopping. And then someone else might come in who looks like, you know, homeless chic, or, you know, they're like ratty, and you're like, oh, they're not going to be able to afford that. And then they pull out their Plaque card and it's like, oh, so you just don't know. So don't assume anything. Another limiting belief or a mindset thing is we get into the how, right? So here's what I would say is the universe's job is the how. The universe's job is to figure out how you're going to get the money, how you're going to, you know, get the clients. Your job is to stay in the energy of knowing that you're worth what you're charging and believing that those clients are out there who can pay. And when we get into the how of like, well, how would this person afford it? Or, you know, how do I have to talk about it? Or how is anyone ever going to find me? Like, that's all the stuff that gets us hesitant and freaked out. We want to stay out of the how and just be solid in what we're charging and come with an energy of confidence and assurance that the universe will figure it out. And if it's not this client who hires you, it's going to be the next one or the next one. So we have to really practice non-attachment. And when we attach to an outcome, when we attach to like, I need this outcome, I need this person to hire me, so I'm putting all this pressure on this sales call, we again get into funky energy. And people can pick it up, right? People pick up on that energy also subconsciously. So that's the funky energy that we get ourselves all worked up about. Whereas when we can detach from the outcome and actually go in saying, you know, this is what I charge, this is how I'm going to say what I charge, whether they hire me or not is irrelevant, because even if they don't hire me, it's another sales call I can get more practice on. And you detach from needing the sale, all of a sudden you're relaxed, you're, you know, probably going to be a little more chatty and like interesting because you're not all uptight and like clenched, and you're just letting them know that you don't need them to hire you. You don't need this client, and you're just having a fun conversation. That's a totally different energy, and it really helps those clients to feel like they can trust you, because now they don't feel like you're just like selling out of that desperate, needy energy, right? So those are some of the things that take us out. I have a bunch of other ones. Let's see what else I've got. There's nobody out there who can afford me. There's nobody out there who can afford what I charge. So one of those limiting beliefs that is pesky and it keeps showing up in the background in our subconscious, but here's how you shift it. Ask yourself if it's true. Because often what we do is when we hold a subconscious belief like nobody will be able to afford me, we start looking for evidence that that's true. So we start looking for proof to support our limiting belief. And now all of a sudden, because what we focus on expands, your focus of nobody can afford me will expand to everything you see, everywhere you look. You'll see people saying they can't afford it or they don't have any money, and it will affirm that limiting belief. Make sense? So we can do the opposite. We can look for evidence to affirm the truth. And the truth is, there's people out there who are hiring coaches, who are paying top dollar, and you can find evidence of that everywhere. So if you start looking for proof of the truth, which is there are clients who can afford me, you will start to attract them, and you will start to see that that's true. And that's how a really powerful way to shift that limiting belief and get you back into the energy of the truth, which is there is more than enough money for everyone. I have these 3 mantras on my wall right now. Money flows easily to me. Making money is easy, and there is so much money to be made. That's the truth. That is the universal law, right? Money is just energy. And it's an exchange of energy for the service we provide. The money comes back to us. And when we trust the flow and we stop resisting and trying to control it and worry and be anxious about it, which is resistance, and we just relax and trust the universe, and we have that open, abundant energy, it totally changes everything. And that is something that I've experienced just through practicing it on my own, that when I show up with this like, what if they can't afford me, or I'm scared to say what I charge because nobody's going to pay, then guess what? Nobody hires me. But when I go in going, I know the value of what I'm bringing, and this is a badass package, and I know the price is perfect, and blah, blah, blah. People don't even question it. It's like, oh, what do you charge? Oh, you charge this. Okay, cool. When do we start? That's what we want, right? We want that energy of like trust and relax and open and receiving and abundance. So that's one way to shift those limiting beliefs. And here's the thing, if you're wishy-washy about your prices, then guess what? The clients will be wishy-washy too. If you're like, well, I charge $75 a session, but I could offer you a discount if that works better for you, or like, what's your budget, and do you think you could afford this, or do you want to talk about it? Like, oh my God, stop. The wishy-washy energy does not build trust in a client, potential client. They're going to sit there and go, this girl's all over the place. She doesn't know what she's doing, and she's assuming that I can't afford it. Or, you're not owning the call. You're not owning the conversation. You are coming at it with that wishy-washy energy, insecurity around, the like imposter syndrome. Will people really think that it's worth it? And ambivalence about your goals too. Like, this is interesting one that came up for me when I was making notes for this call, is like, there are a lot of coaches out there who are actually ambivalent about reaching their financial goals in their business. Meaning, they say, oh yeah, I want to charge this amount and make this amount by the end of 2020, but then they don't do anything about it. And by not doing anything about it, meaning raising rates, doing the inner work, getting their strategies together, it's very ambivalent. And it's like, well, I'm just gonna like do some posts and see what happens, and it'll all work out. That ambivalent energy is what you're creating, and the universe looks at that and goes, well, she's ambivalent, we're going to be ambivalent, and what you attract is ambivalent people who could take it or leave it. I don't know. So that ambivalent energy is rampant, and that's really where we are being challenged to take a high level of responsibility for our results. And when we realize that we are 100% responsible for everything that we are creating, and when we choose to take radical responsibility for the results in our business, then we start to create that level of commitment that will bring in the cash. And when we commit to ourselves and go, you know what, I am 100% responsible for not getting clients, I am 100% responsible for not charging enough, and I am going to change that, and I'm going to do the work that's required within inner work and the strategies in order to change that. Now you're taking radical responsibility for your results. Does that make sense? Right? And that's where we have to like call ourselves out on our own bullshit and be like, how am I showing up that isn't taking responsibility for the results? What are the limiting beliefs that I've been like totally trying to prove are true? And where's my fear level around asking for the sale and then doing the work to push through that? So those are some things that really keep you charging lower rates than you deserve. So let's get into some other ways to shift. Lean in and listen. Like I said, lean in and listen. Take some time to meditate. Take some time to journal. And I want you to write out all of the things that come up that are evidence that you shouldn't raise your rates, or all of the fears that you become aware of. Fear of going broke, fear of not making money, fear of having to shut down your business, fear of having to go get a 9-to-5. Like, I want you to write out everything, because what we resist persists. And when we resist looking at our fear, it just keeps showing up and taking over and making our decisions. So one powerful way to shift that is to actually write out your fears. And it feels counterintuitive sometimes, But the truth is, when we write it out and we face it and we look at it and we pull it out of our subconscious and we bring it into our awareness, it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize how fearful I've been. No wonder I'm not making money. So that's one thing to do, is like journal it all out and then start thinking about what you do want to create and what you do believe is true, and start journaling the truth out, and have it in front of you, the lies and the truth, and start challenging yourself to really dig in and go, do I want to continue to believe this, that I'm always going to be broke, or that I'm never going to make money, or no one's ever going to hire me, or everyone's going to want a discount? Do I want to choose to believe that? Or would I like to believe something different? Because a belief is just a thought that you think over and over until it becomes ingrained in you as a belief. So you can choose to believe something else. And once we believe something else is true, we start to attract it. So once you believe that there are clients out there who will pay what you deserve, you will start to attract it. But it has to be handled first. So that's all the mindset piece. Let's talk a little bit about strategy, about your rates. So there's a few different ways you can think about this. One is, what is the market rate for your type of business? So, for me, I'm a business coach and a mindset coach. And so there is a certain market rate. If you look at coaches who do similar things as me, I can go, okay, I can see what others are charging. And it gives me a reference, a frame of reference to think about what I want to charge. But at the same time, I don't really like that strategy, because there's always a gamut of people. Like, I know a coach who charges $1 million for 1 year of working with her, because her clients are high level and they're making, 6-7 figures in their business. So the return on investment makes sense for them. I know coaches who charge $100,000 for a membership. So there's always the gamut, right? And you can always find somebody who's charging less and who's charging more. So yes, you can do some market research, and it can give you a frame of reference for like what you'd like to sit in your rates, but don't take it to the bank. Don't, take it with a grain of salt. Does that make sense? And here's the other thing I want to say about this is one of the things that I struggled with, and when I overcame this, it really helped me. So I wanted to share it with you. I really believed for a long time that if I kept my rates low, I would get more clients, because people would feel like they could afford me. And it took me about a year before I realized that it was bullshit. Because keeping my rates low, number one, low rates equals low commitment. So if I'm charging like $75 a session, because I think it's going to be like, well, I'm going to get way more clients, and then I can make lots of money because my rates are low. What it does is it creates low commitment in your clients. So when you undercharge, those clients are going to be like, hey, I got a great deal. And subconsciously, they're not going to show up as powerfully in the sessions. They're probably not going to do the homework. And you're going to feel like you're dragging them through the sessions. They're not getting the high level results they want. And you're both going to end up kind of dissatisfied. Maria, yeah, it is so true, isn't it? And I had to experience it in order to choose something different for myself. And guys, it's so true. It's like keeping your rates low because you believe that will get you more clients isn't true. And it gets you clients that you don't really love working with. They're probably not your ideal client, and they're not going to be as committed. And subconsciously, they're going to think that your results aren't going to be as good. So think of it this way. If I offered you a package, a 6-month package, and in that package was all about, manifesting, your big dreams, you know, the dream house, the dream car, the business, the six-figure business. And this 6-month package was going to teach you the manifesting principles to create that in your life. And I charged $500 for 6 months, or I charged $5,000 for 6 months. Which package are you going to pick? For me, I'm going to look at the $500 package and be like, I mean, it's great, but is it really going to get me the results? Whereas $5,000 for me is like, okay, so that's a serious investment. I'm going to get serious results. And it actually works. Like the counterintuitiveness of it is there for sure. But when you start standing in your power and charging a higher level, it creates more trust in your clients. It creates more of an exclusivity, and it subconsciously tells them that the value is going to be higher for the work, or for the work that they're going to do for you, with you. They're going to get better results. Same with like another example is like if you wanted to quit smoking and you were really motivated and you really wanted to quit, and there was one program that was, you know, $50 and there was one program that was $500, which one do you think would get you the results you wanted? I'm going to go with the higher end package because I'm going to assume that I'm going to get better results. So it's a bit of a mindset shift around charging low rates does not get you what you think you're going to get. It keeps you in that low pool of clients and low commitment, and you're not going to get the results you want. Also, discounting is something that I've done that I don't recommend. We also fall into this trap of like, okay, so I'm going to charge, you know, $150 a session, but hey, I'll give a discount of you know, $50, and so now I'm only going to charge $100, but I'm discounting it. Well, now all of a sudden, you know, everyone's going to be like, well, why is she discounting? Why does she have to discount her rates? That's interesting. Immediately people start to think, if you have to discount, that must mean you're not very successful. And again, it erodes trust. So these are all like psychology principles about pricing that we need to really think about, because discounting doesn't work. Keeping your rates low doesn't work. So here's the solution that I like because it feels really aligned for me. Instead of discounting, instead of keeping your rates low, what works is to raise your rates to a level that feels good for you, and I'll get to that in a minute. Raise your rates to a level that feels good for you and add more value. So instead of discounting or keeping your rates low, keep your rates higher and add more value so that the person will see that you've packed it full of value, and now they're paying for the experience and not just that 1 hour, like if you do hourly sessions, right? Bring in a ton of value. So like add really good bonuses, add extra, you know, clarity calls with you, or add like, you know, if you've done like a video series in the past, give it to them for free. So just do value adding into your packages so that you can show that you're giving tons and tons of value for the price, but you're not discounting, you're standing firm in your rates. And that's a really great way to feel good and confident about asking for the sale when you know you've packed it full. And when you know the value of what you bring and you are so confident that what you're going to deliver is going to get them the results, it's a lot easier to ask for the higher level rate, right? So that's a huge part of it too, is like, okay, so I want to feel confident in what I'm charging. I'm going to charge X amount for a 3-month package, but I'm going to give them tons and tons of bonuses, and I'm going to give them guest speakers, and I'm going to give them, you know, all this extra value. Now you can be excited about charging that rate because you know that there's a shit ton of value in there. Make sense? Because psychologically people will be paying for an experience. They're paying for a transformation. They're not paying for your time. They're not paying for your certification. They're paying for an experience. And when you can prove that you are giving them a transformational experience that gives them exactly what they want, they're going to pay for it. And that's the truth. So it's all about, you know, creating an offer that is like chock full of value, and it articulates that pleasure that your client wants. So you have to get really clear on what they want. What is it that they really want? What keeps them up at night that they worry about, that they really want? And then show that working with you is going to give them that experience, and it's going to give them that euphoric, you know, transformational experience, and they will pay. They will pay. So that's some things you can think about. And the last thing I wanted to say about that is practicing. So say you've decided to up your rates a bit. Say you've decided, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to raise my rates by $50 a session. So at first you're going to feel freaked out about it. You're going to feel scared about it. You're going to have all of the shit coming up, and it's going to be scary. So this is where you practice. You practice saying your rates to your friends, to your family. You practice saying it in a post. You practice saying it to a client. The more that you practice it, the better you're going to own it. So this is all about like practice until you feel confident and solid, and there's no wobble when you start to say what you charge. And that's when you're going to start to really own it. So that is a practice thing. It's not like we're going to right out of the gate be saying, oh yeah, I raised my rates and it's this, and we're going to own it. That takes practice. So give yourself some grace and know that, like, say it to your dog 10 times a day. Say it to your husband 10 times a day. Say it to your best friend 10 times a day until you feel solid in expressing your new rate. And this is part of, I have a Goldilocks method that I love, that I'm going to be teaching in my program, Spiritual and Successful. And this is really the key to success, is taking the mindset shifts and working through our fears and working through all the shit that's holding us back, and then applying the strategy from that place of awareness. And that's why I love this program, because it's really unique in that way, that it's not just the strategies that you need to create your business, but it's also that mindset and manifesting principles. And for me, when I've done the inner work and then I apply the strategy from that place of being, then it's much more effective. It's much more powerful. So no different than this, when you want to raise your rates, or you want to, you know, create a package and you're unsure what to charge, or you're in that chronic like undercharging place. We do the inner work in the program, and then you get to a place of going, okay, now that's been released. Now let's do the strategy. And that is what it's all about, because everything is energy, and you attract, as you know, right? You attract what you feel on the inside. So let's change what's going on the inside, those limiting beliefs, and then let's apply some strategy, and here comes the money, right? So yeah, so that's one big element of Spiritual and Successful that is going to be really exciting to deliver to you guys, because it's all that delicious blend of like mindset and strategy that works so well. And you know, I've been talking about it this week, that the waitlist is open, and if you're interested and you want to sign up and save a spot, I am only bringing in 10 women, and the waitlist is filling up, you guys. So if you want a spot, I will drop the link below in the comments and get on the waitlist, and then you'll get all the details going forwards. The doors open on the 7th? No, 14th. The doors open on the 14th for that, and then the program starts on the 21st, and it's 90 days. But I'll be telling you all the details later. But if you do want to save a spot because you think it sounds like it might be right up your alley, get your butt on the wait list and you'll get more information lickety split. Okay, so I hope that helped you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about this. Let me know if you have questions about raising your rates, or, you know, working through some of those limiting beliefs. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. And I want to see you standing in your power. I want to see you raising your rates to the place where you feel like, damn, like this is awesome. I am loving this and I'm standing in the power of that higher rate. And I know that it lines up with the value I bring. And those clients are going to come because there are clients out there who can pay what I'm worth. And I'm going to start standing in that place and asking for the sale. And I'm going to work on the things that I need to change within in order to have the confidence to do that. And honestly, when you know that the value you bring is in alignment with the rate you're charging, and you get rid of the fear and the limiting beliefs, it's all going to come together. It's all energy, it's all mindset, it's all about feeling confident and then applying the strategies from there. And you deserve it because I know you guys, you're skilled, you know what you're doing, you're badass, you're making changes in people's lives, you're creating transformation, you're offering high quality value and services. And so you deserve to be charged what you're worth. And let's eradicate this, wishy-washy, ambivalent, fearful, pussyfooting around, scared to ask for money energy, because that's not going to cut it. And we're going to start moving into our CEO energy, our CEO power. And I want to leave you with a really funny quote. And that is, I can't remember her name. She's on Instagram. She's a coach. And she's hilarious. And one of the things she says is, ask for the sale like you're a middle-aged heterosexual white male. Because if you think about it, the middle-aged white guy, he'll ask for the sale, he'll ask for a raise, he'll charge his rates. Most guys do that because they just think that they deserve it. There's a lot of masculine energy that needs to show up here when we stand in our power and ask for the sale. And so thinking about that, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, yeah, like in corporate America, who's getting the VIP spots? The white guys, because the middle-aged white guys, because they're entitled and they feel like they deserve it. Even if they don't have the skills, they'll ask for it. So let's, use some humor too and not take it so seriously and think about like, hey, yeah, how can I channel that energy and stand in that power, being like, hell yeah, I deserve to make this amount of money and I'm going to ask for it because I deserve it. That's more of the masculine energy that we want to embody when we ask for that sale. And of course, the beauty of that is we can bring the feminine energy of intuition and, care and support and bringing value and knowing that what we bring is integrity. So it's the yin yang of this whole, charging rates and charging what we're worth and believing that we deserve it and that there's people out there who will pay, because there are. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you. I think that's all I have to say today. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. I want to hear from you. If you raise your rates, I want to know about it. Do a post in the group and let us know. And you can let us know what you raised your rates to. Or you can just tell us that you did and how you're going to announce it. But let's not be ambivalent about this. Let's be intentional about this and not being wishy-washy and standing in your power. And here, this group is a great place to practice. Like I said, we need to practice standing in the power and going, this is what I charge. This group is a safe place for you to practice that. So if you want to come on and do a live in the group and be like, hey, I'm going to practice naming what I charge, telling you guys about my packages and what the prices are, and I'm going to practice in this group, we're here for you. You will get lots of support and love. And it's safe for you to do that in this group. So if you want to practice charging more, bring it on, guys. And I want to see you standing in your power. It is time. Okay, so I think that's it for me. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Love you. Bye.